No utopias. I know I kind of touched on this already, but it was kind of, the conversation led that way. There are always going to be problems to address and ways to improve. That's how we get better. That's how we become more sustainable. That's how we grow and advance and expand as a species. But I go back to proper tools. You know, in the space shuttle program, it's a very unique vehicle. You can't just go to the Sears store and get a crescent wrench or some kind of tool and go work on every aspect of the shuttle.
So, have you been out of the Earth, like, have you reached the space?
Oh, have I? No, I'm not an astronaut. No, I just work with the space shuttle program. I want to, though. So, but the space shuttle, sometimes we have to develop our own special tools to handle whatever problem there was. Fortunately, the space program has the toolbox. It's set up. It's functioned as a toolbox. Allows them to create their own tools. They have that in the budget. They have the availability to do so. So our society needs a better toolbox. And it's emergent society versus established society. Throughout the course of human history, we have always set up established societies. Hunter-gatherers, that's an established society. Then you move on to agricultural, that's an established society. Then you have your political establishments, your monarchies, and your democracies, and your establishments that are set up. What they don't do, and by the way, I'm totally a fan of democracy, but in this particular case, it'd be more of a direct democracy. No longer electing political officials to speak for you. You are given all of the information freely and are able to make an informed decision, which doesn't really happen today for a lot of people. They are not paying attention. They are told what they should think instead of learning what they should think. So you have an emergent society versus an established society. Emergent society basically means that it loves change. It thrives on change. It wants people to invent the next best thing. It wants somebody to make an old bad system obsolete so that the better system can be put into place. An established system wants to keep things the way they are. Status quo, we're good enough. There's no such thing as good enough. There's always ways to improve. And that is all. Does anybody have any additional questions?
Waste management.
Waste management. That's going to get a lot deeper than what I had planned for, but let me see if I can summarize it. We do a terrible job now of recycling, reusing, and managing the resources from the products that we make. We give a lot of lip service to, well, we recycle and stuff. We don't really do it on a robust, intensive level like we should. That would be inherently part of this system. So I guess you have to redefine what is waste and what you produce in the first place so that it doesn't become waste. It all matters on what you make, the materials that you make products out of, how sustainable, how long-lasting are they? Do you make a product like today that breaks in 3 to 4 months so that they can sell you the new item? Or facilitate the revenue for their service department so you have to call them and send a technician out, which costs you $70 to fix this thing, when it would have been nice if they had just built it right the first time and made it from the most high-tech, strong, robust materials possible so that that toaster could last 300 years. Now granted, the toaster would probably cost $1,000 in today's world, but in the resource-based economy, the only thing it costs is the resources that it needed to make it and the automated systems that were initially in place. There might be an energy cost, but if you're running solar, wind, clean, natural energy systems, that's negligible over the long haul. Basically, as long as the sun exists, as long as the geothermal exists, which is the life of the planet and the life of the star. So waste management is a very complex issue because you're going to redefine what is waste, but you're also at the same time going to redefine how you make stuff, how long you design to last as long as possible. So, I mean, technically speaking, if you had garbage, there would be automated systems that could come and pick it up for you. Like you would still do the drop it off at the curb kind of thing, but And actually, you wouldn't even have to do that if it was designed properly. You could have vacuum chutes in your house. You just drop it in, it sucks it down into a tube and drives it to the waste facility where they would recycle and basically collect and separate and manage as much as possible. Now that's just an option to think about. The engineers that would design that in the city would do whatever's best for the terrain, the materials available, the resources that they have on hand. So that's a dynamic fluid issue based on research.
What about nuclear waste?
I wouldn't see much of a need for nuclear power in the first place. And so all the energy systems that I mentioned can cover the world many times over if they were actually implemented in a robust manner. You wouldn't need nuclear power facilities anymore.
We still have a lot of
Well,
nuclear waste.
we do, and that's going to go away over time. It's going to have to stay where it is right now, but you would be able to stop making more.
Did you not see that TED talk Bill Gates gave when they were using nuclear waste to make energy?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to use the nuclear waste to make much cleaner nuclear energy, so they would use all up the nuclear waste.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're already thinking about how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I mean, like I said, I don't have all of it. So it's glad that other people can contribute because now you get an idea what's out there. There's a significant technological potential to make life a lot better on this planet.
So as you mentioned, management is going to be some kind of based on computer system which make accountability of all resources. And
Right. It's
some kind of planned economy where everything which is productive planned to be sustainable.
right. It's statistical analysis on an engineering level. The computer systems would know the population of the city. They would, and statistics would tell you how many visitors you get per year and when the peaks are. And so the systems would know when to slow down production, when to increase production. I mean, we do that. Think about traffic patterns in your city when you drive around. There is a computer governing how long those lights stay green or stay red. And like LA has a big one, a massive control facility. The computer knows when traffic is heavy, when it's light, when to shift the traffic patterns, and it does this organically. It kind of senses and feels, and it does this as it goes. So that would be the same kind of system that would manage the majority of the facilities. I mean, a lot of it's autonomous. You wouldn't even notice it was going on, but it would constantly be providing based on the population setup of the city. And you can, it would be responsible to maybe do a census every year of the city just to know how many people are living there now so that the system can adjust production accordingly and work with other city systems. But that would be a simple census of going online and pressing a button and, okay, you counted me, and then you go off and do your thing.
I was thinking when, I didn't attend from the very beginning, unfortunately, but starting from when you tackled or started talking about abundance. And as you finished up, and I was thinking about that this abundance would also mean that there will be a very great healthy population,
Right.
which will also be in abundance.
You're thinking about population size?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was thinking, how does your science projection, what is the connection with ethics? Especially that there will be grown-ups, a lot of grown-ups, and about, the young ages. And for example, I noticed here that some of the elderly people were noticing that the young people are attracted to sentimentality much more than the human aspect, and they find that they are not so keen, the young people, about helping the elderly who may need help. Can you just let me know what is the connection between ethics and morals and this science project?
That's a touchy subject because that gets into faith and what people believe in and what's right and wrong and things of that nature. And, for the record, I'm an atheist, so I really don't have a lot of, faith-based.
But you're a human as well.
But I'm a human, and I believe that there is a way to treat people, there is a right and a wrong in the way we treat people. So I guess I would have to say, if you create a better environment where people are more happy and productive in what they feel is a positive move in their life, I would have to think that the social interactions would also be positive. So it would be a natural ethics. It would be an organic ethics of life is good. I don't have a reason to be mean or misbehave towards anybody because I don't gain anything from it. In today's world, you can gain stuff from being bad to other people. But in this particular system, there's no advantage to behaving that way. And it also is a reflection of education. You know, how are people taught? Are they taught to possess things, possess people, you know, and things of that nature? Or are they taught to be, you know, relaxed, you know, and not worry so much about the negativity and be more positive? It's a reflection of our culture, our propaganda, our media, how we educate and push society. In this system, it would be constantly reinforced to help, to be kind. That's part of the mantra. Empathy. Empathy for others, being able to feel other. And
Become homo empathicus.
Homo empathicus, yes, I like that.
Not homo sapiens, who sat with the energy.
Yeah. And so that would be, but that's a very fluid question that you asked, because I can't predict what people in the future are going to behave like. We can see the indicators of how people might behave, but I cannot predict the future. The only thing I can say is we have the capability to make a better world. It's up to us, after the systems are in place, to work together with each other to make sure that we maintain a positive social environment for ourselves.
On the transport section, I do see you mentioning teletransportation. Are you a believer in that? Because they already teletransported atoms.
No,
Like
I didn't have
protons,
teleportation.
you didn't.
No. Oh,
You
do I
believe it?
believe in that?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Star Trek, beam me up to
Star Trek,
kind of stuff?
type
Okay.
of teleportation.
To a point, but the phasing of the physics, I'm not going to get into all that. Right now, no, but I'll never say never. That's an oxymoron, but I'll never say never. All right. This molecules, and especially proteins and stuff, are so complicated that the ability for a system to regenerate that at a distance and get all the electrons in the right place. We're doing good to do one, you know, proton or whatever it was that was done. Well, they've done a proton, they've done an electron, they've done something. But that's one, and not over a very large distance. The moment they can do a piece of paper or something like that, I'll be impressed. So, do I think it's possible? Sure, why not? Do I know how long? 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years? I have no idea. But, you know, I don't put anything past us. I think, you know, we've already proven that it's possible, at least on the nano level, on the atomic level. So if we can expand that technology, sure, maybe we can do that.
I love the whole idea and everything. I really believe in bursting the bubble and finding new ways of doing things. But we've spoken about obesity, we've spoken about cancer, we've spoken about population, and we've spoken about needing a medical care as opposed to what I would think was more necessary to find a health care. But anyway, what I was wondering is whether in all this, these substances that we'll be creating where we would live, when I think of space, I think of plastic and synthetic and all the rest of it. And I know NASA's done a whole lot of work about clean air and all those kind of things, which are really, really interesting. But what would be the kind of basis on which this is all built? Because if it is built on chemicals and synthetics, we may have a natural population control. We may get rid of the diabetes. I mean, you know, we might people with diabetes, or obesity, because we're creating a world where the human element of survival does not coexist with the synthetic elements. Now I'm being really extreme on things, but I just said
it's hard to address the extremes because I don't know. You know,
But is it plastic synthetic or is it natural?
No, it's as natural as it can be. The whole purpose is to revert back to nature, but using technology to do it. So it's not living in plastic bubbles. And anything that would be invented or used, there would be real analysis on its long-term effects. There would be 5-year studies or 10-year studies on any new materials on how it would affect people.